behind me, let's switch to the visualization, please. What you're seeing behind me is the visualization of how the web platform has evolved over the years. It's inspiring and humbling to see names like Mosaic, Netscape, the introduction of HTML, CSS. But what's interesting is as you go to the far right, you can see it gets denser. It's much richer. That's because the web platform is evolving at a faster pace than ever before, which makes sense because the web is increasingly being used across many, many new types of devices, phones, tablets, and so on. And we need to make sure we evolve the web to support those use cases. The good news is it's happening very fast. One of the great things about the web is as we add APIs, developers like you immediately take advantage of it to write great web applications. So let me give one example. About a year and a half ago, from the Chrome team, we decided to support games, rich games, online. Why? Games tend to push the limits of a platform. They're really hard on the platform, and if you can run games, you can pretty much do anything else. So we talked to game developers, and we found out what APIs they need. A lot of it was what we were already working on, and we started adding them to Chrome. So let's take a look at what's happening. So let's switch to a game. Ken is going to help me with it. What we are showing you, can we switch to the game, please? What we are showing you is a game called Gaikai, which is being streamed. It's a service called Gaikai. This is being streamed live online, and they can do it to any internet-connected devices. There is no download, there is no install, you just click and play different games. This particular game is called Bulletstorm, and I've been assured all you do is shoot aliens in this process. So let's take a look. So Ken is going to load up the game and play, and what you will notice is that, first of all, it's a rich full-screen experience. It's very immersive. We do it through the full-screen API. The sound effects are all enhanced audio APIs we have added in the last year. To do a game like this, you need real good performance. You need raw network access. We do it through UDP. The local performance on the client you see there is being done because we are executing in the native client sandbox. And finally, to do something like this, obviously Ken is using a gamepad, and we needed to give access to a peripheral like the gamepad with the gamepad API. So doing that, you can see a very, very rich game. By the way, it's running in a Chrome box, so you can spin it around because everything is hardware X-rated. So it's not just Gaikai and Bulletstorm which have done this. We have seen several, let's switch to the slides. We have seen several mainstream games, Angry Birds, Cut the Rope, all available in the Chrome Web Store. In fact, even AAA console-style games like Bastion, From Dust, are all available in the web store now to play. Angry Birds alone has been played by more than 140 million users. And what's happening in games is happening in every other vertical in the web store. Games, entertainment like music, educational apps, and apps for businesses as well. Over 750 million applications have been installed, and people are enjoying living online in the cloud every day. And we are just getting started. We are going to evolve Chrome apps pretty significantly. There are three major areas we are going to focus on. First is we need to make sure all applications are always available. You saw the example with Docs Offline. So as you write a Chrome application, we are going to provide developers with a way to package resources automatically by default, including the UI, so that you can always serve the application locally. The second thing is we want to make sure you get an authentic app experience, just like what you saw with the game earlier. So we want to break out of the browser window when you want to, give full screen experiences, as well as provide new UI containers for applications. And finally, when you write a Chrome application, we want to make sure you have access to every underlying device API across phones, tablets, and desktops. So we are working hard at that. If you download the Chrome Canary Bill, you can see what we are doing there, and we have sessions later in the day where you can get a lot more details. It is one thing to write great web applications, but it is an entirely different thing to take a real-world experience, something with amazing artistry, like what Cirque du Soleil creates, and translate that to the cloud. Something very hard to do. And to share that journey, let me invite Joanne and Aubrey from Cirque du Soleil.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. For those of you who know Cirque du Soleil, and I hope many of you do, you will understand that we always strive to create immersive and fantastical experiences for our patrons. Experiences that will make them dream for a little while. We also constantly ask ourselves, how do we evolve beyond the live world? How do we create experiences that reach more people? How do we create worlds that people participate in? The web is an obvious option because it can reach anyone on the planet. However, we know how difficult it is to transport anyone into an imaginary world if they can't actually experience it firsthand. In this project, we were still facing the same big question. Could the web deliver the experience we envision? Could the technology give the possibility to the user to actually interact with the environment and lose themselves in it? To create this new world, we knew we needed to go beyond text, pictures, and videos. We all really wanted to evoke people's emotion, to awaken their imagination, and to enrich their lives. But I have to say, when we saw the preliminary result of this project, we all got so excited. We were surprised. Some of us were actually really touched and stunned, I would say, by the depth and the richness of the visual animation. The creative team and this new technology have created an experience that evokes a beautiful, immersive, and sensorial world that truly resembles Cirque du Soleil, and that can be enjoyed by everyone when and where they feel it. The combination of great creative minds and this new web technology opened possibilities that we didn't know existed before. I will let Aubrey, our development partner, to show you what we built together, and most importantly, probably for you guys, how we built it. Aubrey?
Thanks, Joanne. It's awesome. This is awesome to be here. Cirque du Soleil in a browser. What a fantastic challenge. Let's take a look at our demo and see how we did. Now, in order to get you into the experience in a different way, we allow you to control the navigation and perspective by moving your body. As the experience starts, our tour guide shows us how to do it. We've used the Get User Media API inside WebRTC to enable the user's camera and detect faces and track motion, and then we map that back to the navigation controls in the app. Ken, can you move left and right and show that behavior? There he goes. You'll notice Ken's silhouette at the bottom as he moves. This gives him some feedback about where he is in space. And then once our guide feels like we've got the hang of it, she opens up the curtains, and we're invited into her imaginary world. I love it when something very complex turns out to be created with simple ingredients. We've created this world completely in HTML. We've combined web video and images and markup into virtual set pieces, which we then position in 3D space using CSS. You can see how the elements parallax in response to Ken's movements. That's because the elements are each positioned individually, and it creates this very realistic, interactive environment for us to explore. The HTML elements are then brought to life with CSS animations and filters individually, and it's all amazingly fast because of hardware-accelerated rendering in the browser. What you're seeing here is all running on a Chromebook. After exploring this world, we just need to follow our guide and take the leap. Now, we wanted to accentuate the 3D nature of this experience with this fall. You might consider using a plugin or WebGL to accomplish something like this, but what you're seeing here is just divs. We've used individual CSS animations to spin the elements, and we've used one long 3D transform.
Wow.
It's cool, isn't it? We have one long 3D transform which transforms the whole model. And at the end of the fall, we splash into a vernal pool where we can enjoy a performance. Now, to see how this world is actually put together, let's take a look at the source. I'm feeling brave. Ken, can you open up the Chrome Developer Tools? He's totally already done it. Because this is just markup in the browser, we can actually manipulate these elements in real time, right while the application is running. Here, Ken is able to change the rotation property in the CSS, and the whole model will move in space. Our navigation controls will even still work here, and just transforms the elements from their new position. Now, another great thing about this approach is that it's wonderfully portable. For example, it works just as well in a web browser on a tablet. Ken, will you bring up the app on a device? Ooh, look, there it is. Here we can take advantage of the unique capabilities in the device, like the accelerometer and gestures. Notice as Ken tilts the device, our perspective is changing in the same way that it changed when he was tracking to the camera. And it just happens for us because CSS is giving the instructions, and we're letting the hardware-accelerated browser, in whatever runtime we find ourselves in, do all the work. I hope you've enjoyed this short preview from about what's coming from Cirque du Soleil, and I hope it highlights the kind of immersive, beautiful user experience you can create using the HTML skills I bet most of you already have, and a great browser like Google Chrome. Thanks.
I've been very impressed by watching Cirque du Soleil live, and to see that come online shows you the power of what you can do on the web today. It's been a very exciting journey, and a lot of it started with Chrome, and we built it